Hi everyone, Kristen here of Luminous Ministries, and today's video is all about how we go from a place of hopelessness to hope. If you have been watching the news, I think it's a little bit hard not to feel hopeless and a little down, maybe more than a little down. And so today's video is to give you a little bit of hope, and where that goes back to is our holy habits. If you're a person who sets New Year's resolutions and you're 13 days in, if you're a person who's constantly setting goals for yourself, then you're however many days into whatever goal it is that you've set. My husband and I have a goal and a holy habit we are trying to develop and form and live with every day. And that is praying the rosary daily. And we started back in 2020, really during quarantine was the time we're like, you know what? We really need to be praying the rosary daily. And we felt that way because the Blessed Mother told us to. She told us to pray the rosary daily. This isn't some arbitrary box that we're checking, like if you want to be a good Catholic, go to Mass, pray the rosary daily. Like these were given to us, not by man, but by God Himself. And so God Himself and His mother. And so that's why we do these things. They're for our benefit. They're for our eternal good. And really, the rosary takes about 20 minutes. It can be longer than that. It just depends on how quickly or how slowly you pray the rosary. But it's been something really neat that we do together, and it's a prayer form that we do together, because there are all sorts of different great prayers out there, and whatever resonates with you, we've talked about this a lot, whatever points your thoughts in the direction of God is prayer. So just keep pointing your thoughts in the direction of God, and whatever prayer form, there's so many out there for us to explore and to delve into. But the reason we specifically have delved into the rosary is one, like I said, Mary told us to pray it daily. And two, because the more you read about the benefits of the rosary and what the saints have said about the rosary, the more you just think, man, I really need that in my daily life. And so actually I will link in the description of this video a video that we did before about all these different saint quotes about the power of the rosary. So that'll be down there. And one of the things they continuously talk about is how the rosary brings us such protection and peace and leads us to truth, and it gives us clarity. And I don't know about any of you, but if I start praying the rosary, it takes me a little while to get into it. And but once I am in it, all of a sudden I just have thoughts that come to my mind that I know are not me, that it's God directing my thoughts. And in fact, God spoke to a mystic, one of the mystics of the Catholic Church, and said, sometimes you doubt that it is I speaking to you. So like your own thoughts, but aren't we one? So think about that from here on in, think about when a thought comes to your mind, is that you or is that God speaking to you through your thoughts? So that's something that I've noticed as my husband and I are praying the rosary, is that the thoughts that come to my mind, I really believe are placed there by God, and that they're things that I need to either, when we're done with the rosary, I need to reach out to this person, or in the coming days, I need to reach out to this person, or I need to do this, or I need to reconcile this situation, or I need to, it's amazing the things that come to your heart and to your soul that you're like, yeah, that is definitely a place where I need to spend a little extra time, give some more attention. I do think this is God trying to help lead me and guide me. And not only that in terms of the rosary, but also they talk about how Mary places her mantle over those who are praying the rosary. So her mantle, like her robe. And so while we're praying the rosary, I like to literally visualize that. And I've even seen some really cool art, pieces of art on Pinterest that kind of have that image of it's Mary in this huge mantle and all these people are underneath it. And I just think what more beautiful image could we have right now, in a United States and in a world that is very broken and very divided and very hurting, is to huddle under the protection of our mother. I just think that is so comforting to me and gives me hope in a time that can feel very hopeless. And so for that reason, for so many others, we encourage you to be praying the rosary daily. And if you feel so inclined, the Patriotic Rosary, we really, really enjoy it. And I think especially for the times that we're in, because you're praying over each individual state and every soul in that state. And like, I even like to think about the people I know in that state. And so it becomes a very personal thing. I mean, the rosary is just so full of depth. You might even say to yourself, maybe you're a Catholic who, oh, I just don't really care for the rosary. It just doesn't resonate with me. And I understand that there are different prayer forms that resonate more or less with different people. But I would encourage you to go back to the rosary, because even though we're saying a lot of rote prayers, it's a lot of Hail Marys, it's the Our Father, but yet again, that is the prayer that Jesus taught us to pray. So there is real power there. And but because of the fact that it's so rote, kind of going back to where your thoughts can go, because it becomes so meditative, it's so you don't have to think about what you're saying. Your mind can think about other things. And I think that is what is also so beautiful, is that you're simultaneously praying these prayers we've been taught to pray that have so much power, and you're also able to think about what these prayers might be calling you to. And not only that, but I also like to, on each individual bead, pray for an individual intention. And so, there are so many ways to engage with the rosary and to really make it a meditative, prayerful, powerful experience. And so I just encourage you, during these times where we might be tempted to feel hopeless, to draw strength from, I have mine right next to me, to draw strength from, as my family is fond of saying, rolling the beads. Let's roll the beads, because there is so much power in prayer. And if we look at our world, I think it is so incredibly necessary that we cling to prayer, and we cling to prayers that help lead us to truth, that help lead us to love, that help lead us to protection and guidance, and help us to feel the hope of the world. Because as Christians, we are called to be a light in darkness. And so we have to cling to those things that will help us to illuminate, and to help us to shine brightly, and to help us be a beacon that points others to the hope of the world, which is Jesus Christ. So I meant to say this earlier, but I will link in the description box also our Patriotic Rosary. So be sure to, if you feel so inclined, pray the Patriotic Rosary with us. Go back and watch that video about all the different saint quotes about the power of the Rosary. Cling to these beads, roll these beads, pray these beads, and we will be praying them for you. Like I said, I have specific intentions on each bead. We will be praying for you. Please be praying for us, be praying for our nation, and just continue to cling to the light of Christ, the hope of the world. Have a blessed and beautiful day. Bye.